Hello there, I'm Jimmy Vegas and welcome to the 16th video in a series of game development tutorials on how to make your own scary survival horror game in Unity. In this tutorial we'll add in a door that we can physically open along with some sound effects for it. Remember to subscribe and click the notification bell to stay up to date with every tutorial I upload. Feel free to leave a comment and drop a like. I also have a Patreon page where you can help be a part of this channel, and you'll also find all the scripts and the assets to this series there too, along with plenty of other things. You can also now join as a free member. Now, on with the tutorial. So in terms of doors, we have got this set up over here, and that's just a door that doesn't do anything, it's always going to be locked. So we want to have a door that we can actually physically open. So the idea of what we'll do is once we pass through this spider web here, we'll have a door somewhere around there that we can walk up to, press the E button, and the door will open for us. So in order to do that, let's set up this area. Now, because our game is fairly dark, I think now is probably a good time to kind of talk about something that we did quite a few tutorials ago to help you develop a bit more to see better. And it's up to you whether you keep it on while testing and turn it off for the final build or whatever. But if we go to Window, Rendering, and go to Lighting and Environment, do you remember when we removed the skybox? Well, let's just put it back in for now so we can physically see a little better. So let's get this set up so as the door is here. Now obviously there is nothing after here, so why don't we quickly set up a new floor. So hold Control, press D on the floor just here, slide it into place. Same with this wall just here. Let's get that there. And now I'm going to hold Control, press D again for this wall, and I'm going to slide it out to about there. And the reason I've done that is just so as we have like a bit of a passageway for where our door can be. We can work on the top bits later on. We'll get round to a bit. We'll see a bit of a gap in a bit, but don't worry about it too much. Let's now set up this wall here so we can hold Control, press D to duplicate, and let's bring this along to here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink this wall dramatically. So I'm going to have it as 0.5 and then slide it back this way. And then all the way this way, just so as it kind of looks a bit more normal, I guess you could say. So now we have a gap for where our door can be. So let's import a door. Let's go to our object assets, and I'm going to drag and drop this metal door. And you can download this for free if you go to the pinned comment, click the link in there, and you can download it. So let's go to the metal door, and let's drag and drop this door into our scene. Let's place it roughly where we need it to be, so somewhere around about here, I think. Does that look okay? I kind of want to be able to see through it a little bit, to kind of get some light shining through sort of thing, so it's up to you whether you want to do that, but you can just basically align it with where you would want it to be in terms of your wall. Now I guess what we can do is slide this across just a little bit more so the door kind of fits in the doorway, and there we go. We now have a hallway with a door at the end. Let's bring the door in line with the floor, down a tiny bit more. There we go. I think that should do. So yes, obviously we have a gap up here. Don't worry about this gap. We can sort out some models to deal with that a little later on in the series. For now, we want to focus on this door. So how do we make it so as the door actually opens? Well, the way this door's set up is if we go to it and pivot on the Y, it will indeed open. So we can use that to our advantage with animation. So let's go to our animation folder. Let's click on animation and create a new one. And this will be metal door open. And then let's hit the record button and set our keyframes. So the only movement this door will ever make is opening inwards. So that means that we'll only ever pivot on the Y-axis. So let's set that as 0, so as it sets that keyframe. And we'll have it open over a course of a second, so 60 frames. So by the 60th frame, you just need to set the rotation to whatever the door fully open will be. So let's say about there. And let's press the record button to stop that. Let's go to project, and on metal door we need to untick loop time because we don't want it to keep looping. The next thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to only have this animation work whenever we trigger it. So we don't want it to play straight away in our scene like we have with the fade in, because obviously we start the game fades in. We only want to be able to trigger the animation via script. So in order to do that, we need to go to door, and then where it says controller and door, double click that and it will open up the animator component. And you should see up here highlighted in orange the name of the animation you've just created. In order to stop this animation happening, we just need to right click anywhere in the grid, create state, and click on empty, and then right click on new state and set as default layer state. What that means is that this door will not open yet. So if we press play, although we created that animation, we should be able to turn around now and the door should still be closed. Let's just make sure it is. Perfect. So the next thing to do is create the script that allows us to open this door. And because we've already put the work in with the raycast and with our other door, and we have a sequence for it, we can kind of use that script anyway. So before we do, actually, let's bring in the effects. So let's go to our audio folder, effects, and let's drag and drop this creak door sound file. And again, this is in the package. If you go to the pinned comment, you'll be able to download it. Next thing we need to do is let's add this sound effect to our game. So level control, audio, sound effects. And on sound effects, right click and create empty. And we'll put door creak. And then drag and drop the creak door onto there. So now we have the audio source on there. Untick play on awake. So now our sound effect is ready to play via the script. So if we go to our scripts and have a look at what we have written previously, we do already have a metal door script. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this metal door script just to kind of refresh myself what we had here. It's been a while since we did it. But essentially we'll be able to use the same information in this script to open this door that we've just put into our game. Because essentially a lot of this is going to be the same because we're going to have all of this identical. So the idea of we're going to say open door, all of that is preset. The only thing that really needs to be changed is this coroutine down here. So let's go back into Unity. Let's right click, create a new script, and we'll have this one open door, and open that up in Visual Studio. And when it's opened, we'll copy across some information. So what I'm going to do is get rid of everything inside the class. So it's a fresh class. And let's go back to the metal door script that we wrote. Now, not everything is relevant at this point because we don't need the player, we don't need an extra camera, and we don't need the locked door here. We need to have the creaking door. So firstly, let's copy the variables and we can erase them as we need to. Back into our open door script so we can get rid of the player and the cam. They can disappear. Text on screen is fine. Bool can open. We do not need that either, now I think about it. And this one is going to be creak door. So next, let's go back to metal door and we're going to copy. In fact, we might as well copy everything and then we can modify as necessary. So that's the beauty of already having written this script. It's just basically a clone of it and we can basically do what we want with it. So here we've got if can open is true. Now let me check can open. Gosh, yes, I think we might need that actually because if we go to player casting, we do have the player casting, don't we? And this has to check if oh no, because we've already got it here, haven't we? That's all right, it's my fault. So what we need to do is actually, yeah, do you know what? No, we do need can open. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's re-add that in. Of course we need it. Of course we need it. It's morning time. I'm very tired. So bool and can open naturally. So let's quickly recap and make sure we're not making any mistakes here. We need the can open because we need to check if the distance from target is good enough. Text on screen is fine. Creek door, we need to add that in. So if we can open it and we press the E key, then we start the coroutine of opening door. We'll keep that same coroutine. These are standard, so this just basically checks whether we are looking at the door or not. Down here in the opening door section, we can get rid of the cam and the player because they're not required. Text on screen is true, so do we need that? Maybe. We'll keep it for now. This one will be creek door, and then we wait for 2 seconds maybe, although I don't think it's really relevant, to be honest. I think we might be okay with this. But what we'll do is creek door.play. Now we'll add in the actual door itself. So serialize field, and it's going to be a game object, and we'll call it the door, something really simple. So this now means that when we play the creek door, we say the door.get component is breaky brackets animator, and then open close bracket dot play, and in brackets and quotes the name of the animation that we created. So let's quickly check what it was. Animation, and it's called metal door open. So let's copy the name of that just so we do spell it right, place it in here, and then quote close semicolon. Realistically, I don't think we need to have a coroutine for this specific thing, but we're going to do things later on in game development in this game where we will need it to be a coroutine, so we're kind of preparing here. Let me think. So let's get rid of the player and the cam once again. I don't think we actually need the text on screen, you know, but we'll see anyway. So let's save the script. And if you have any problems with this script, I will put it in that pinned comment as well, so you can go and download this script as it is written by me. Let's head back into Unity and give it just a moment to compile what we've done. I do think we'll have to modify this script a little further, but I'm not 100% sure. It might not matter. It depends whether we can kind of squeeze through the gap where the door is. But what we need to do now is we need to add the script to our door. So let's go to scripts, let's go to open door and drag it onto the door. Let's set those variables in the script. So text on screen, I think it's that one. I genuinely don't think it's too relevant, to be honest, but we'll see. Creek door, let's add that in. And finally the door, which is this one, onto there. Let's press play and let's try this out. Taking a moment there. Right. I tell you what, Unity sometimes. Okay. Oh, we've got to get past the spider web. So let's quickly do that now. Let's pick the candle up. Let's burn the spider web. And let's see if we can. Okay, so something's gone wrong there. What has gone wrong? Why can we not get through the door? Do you know what? I might move our player over towards this door just to stop any problems. So I think the reason being is if we go to this door here, the left metal door, let's go onto the metal door and let's check. So the idea of what I wanted to get across in this tutorial is just how similar some scripts can be and how you can easily copy and paste things. What I think has gone astray, I wonder if the candle's getting in the way. I hadn't tested that. Let's get rid of the web for now because that is causing some delay in our testing. So let's quickly check if it's the candle or not. Some bug fixing, bug testing here. So the idea of what we're going to do is we'll pick up this candle and then we'll try opening the other door. That one. So candle. So we can indeed open that door. Oh, the spiderweb object is still there. Okay. Never mind. Okay, so let's test if we can possibly open this door now. So yeah, we can still do that. So what about here? Nope, we cannot. So something is going drastically wrong. So let's stay in the game mode. Let's scroll up to... where's our player? Where is the player? I can't find him. There he is. Player capsule. And... you know what? I can't remember where our raycast is. Can you remember where the raycast is? I tell you what. Let's do something a bit different now. What we can do is if we go to the door and have a look at box collide. It's not anything to do. It's not trigger, is it? I don't think it is. Why would it be? No, of course it's not. So the idea is it's on there. We can open it. So I tell you what, this make this. So oops, wrong door. I'm not having a good day, am I? So I think it might actually be the wrong object. I think we might need to put it on the model rather than the door itself. The reason I say that is I've just managed to work out that the model is the main section of the whole thing. So for the door, we technically don't need the box collider, do we? So if we untick the box collider on the door, go to the model, let's go to the body, and that does indeed have the collider on. So let's right click and copy component, and let's go to body of the door and right click and paste component as new. Let's go back to the door and let's remove the open door script. So that should now actually function. So the reason all of this has happened is because the door it's a prefab and it consists of multiple different models. And when we've tried to apply it, we've actually applied it to a model which can't detect our raycast correctly. So I know that seems absolutely crazy, but I think it's a good experiment or a good piece of work that we've done there to kind of establish what can go wrong within Unity. So I'm going to put the web back on, I think now. There we go. Okay, so once more, let's try this. So we should be able to open our door, no problem now. So let's pick up the candle. Let's burn the web. And then we should be able to go to our door and open it. There we go. So where it says the door is locked, we need to change that. Remember I said in the script it comes down to this text on screen. We didn't need it after all, and that's perfectly fine. We can get rid of it. And last thing we're going to do is we're going to disable the box collider on the door, simply because we don't need that to actually work anymore. So we can say this dot game object dot get component, and in spiky brackets box collider open close bracket dot enabled equals false, and save. And the reason we do that is simply because we don't want to keep trying to open a door over and over and over. So there we go. We now have that door. We took a little bit of a long way round in doing that, but I think it was a great thing to kind of see in a tutorial, to just know that not everything is as simple as it seems. You know, just attaching the script to the door, we thought it would work, but it didn't. That's because different objects can do different things, and this door in and of itself had an object that was the physical door. So yeah, that was a lot of fun to try and work out. Anyway, next tutorial, what I want to do is I want to have a door slam open on us whenever we get close to it, kind of in preparation for our monster appearing for a jump scare. So remember to subscribe, click the notification bell, stay up to date with every tutorial I upload, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.